Now, David Cameron has agreed to meet the parents of the murdered 5-year-old April Jones after they pleaded with him to do more to tackle online child abuse. And today, while Mr Cameron was hosting the G8 summit, his culture secretary was hosting one of her own with the internet service providers. Afterwards, the government announced that the companies would contribute more money to an industry watchdog to hunt down and remove illegal images of child abuse. But was it anywhere near enough? Sarah Smith reports.
So if the site is assessed as being child sexual abuse material.
The Internet Watch Foundation are the front line in the battle against child porn. They gave us rare access to their hotline room and showed me how they take action against the images of child sex abuse that are reported to them.
We are increasingly seeing victims who are under the age of 10.
It is difficult and distressing work, accessing and assessing over 100 sites that show children being abused every day.
It's a very difficult job and it is very upsetting, but it almost feels to me that there are difficult jobs out there, and if it's something that you feel that you can do, then really it's something that you should.
The IWF are now to be given new powers to seek out and tackle illegal images of children. Extra funding means they can double their analysts, from 4 to 8 or 9. It is like using a sandbag to hold back a tsunami. The analysts working in this secure room do succeed in taking down tens of thousands of images of child sex abuse every year. But there are millions of them being uploaded. Experts think there are more of these images circulating around the internet now than there ever have been before. That's why the government have called the industry in to ask them to help them tackle an ever-growing problem. Mark Bridger is known to have accessed images of young children being abused on the day he murdered 5-year-old April Jones. Stuart Hazel also looked at indecent images of children online before killing Tia Sharp. And these murders have made tackling child abuse on the internet a top priority for everyone.
The Tia Sharp and April's cases were linked to the internet very closely, and they happened within a few months of each other, or a month of each other. And if these things don't get removed and don't get sorted out, this is just going to escalate.
You know, there's widespread concern about how easy it is to see these sorts of abusive and illegal images, and as a result of today's meeting, we will see more of those images being tackled and a more proactive approach to the whole issue.
By the end of the month, anyone trying to enter sites that have been blocked by the IWF will get a message saying access has been denied as the site may contain indecent images of children. But there are several issues today's announcement won't tackle. The sharing of images directly between users, or so-called peer-to-peer networks. Websites hidden on the so-called dark web that are not indexed by search engines like Google. Internet companies do not have to stop the uploading of illegal images. And search engines don't have to strip out sites from its search results which offer child sex abuse images. Maria Miller was promising great things before this meeting, saying that as the only mother in the cabinet, she wanted to ensure that everyone's kids were safe when they went online. Even the Prime Minister joined in, saying how worried he is whenever his children borrow his iPad. But in the end, nothing at all was agreed that will make it any harder for children to access pornography online, and there are no major changes to how the internet companies will deal with illegal images of child abuse. Miller has promised she will maintain unrelenting pressure on the internet companies, and hoping it will eventually produce a more significant result.
Well, just before we came on air, I spoke to the Culture and Communications Minister, Ed Vaizey, and I put it to him that he had promised, as Sarah Smith said, unrelenting pressure. But what we actually got was a £1 million donation to the industry watchdog.
First of all, Google have also donated £1 million, and the 4 ISPs have also donated £1 million to the Internet Watch Foundation. But this is the start of a conversation. We need to understand further what additional funding the Internet Watch Foundation needs, and also what the Child Exploitation and Online Protection Unit also needs in terms of support. But this is a welcome.
Billions of pounds in profits. I mean, BT pre-tax profits of £2.5 billion. Millions of abusive images online. The Internet Watch Foundation has only 20 staff. Only 4 or 5 of those actually spend their time looking at images. It's a drop in the ocean, isn't it?
I think in terms of what the Internet Watch Foundation does, it already does an outstanding job. But it will take down child abuse images within an hour. Only 1% of child abuse images worldwide are now hosted in this country, a huge reduction since the Internet Watch Foundation started its work. But I think the key point was a willingness on the part of ISPs and search engines to fund the work that needs to be done.
But after today's summit, which there were many expectations raised, Facebook, for example, won't be forced to prevent images being uploaded. Google won't be forced to strip out sites offering child abuse images.
Well, that's not true. Facebook, first of all, doesn't have an issue with child abuse images, as far as I'm aware. That's what they said at the summit. But certainly, Google does strip out child abuse images.
But what you'd briefed before the meeting was that there would be an automatic filter set, so that the default setting would be that abusive or pornographic images would be filtered out. That hasn't happened. The companies haven't signed up to that.
Well, there's a really important difference here. What we're talking about is child abuse images are illegal, okay? And they are taken down by the Internet Watch Foundation when they're reported and when they're discovered. The Internet Watch Foundation now has substantially more funding available, and we'll continue to see increases in resources where those resources are needed. The filter is there to help parents protect their children from pornography, and we've made huge progress with the ISPs. We now have active choice, so that when you set up your internet connection, you're forced to make a choice about whether to block adult content. That's a good thing. That's what parents want. By the end of the year, possibly sooner, we'll have a device whereby all your devices in the home are covered by one click. So you set the filters on one device and it sets them on all the others. We'll also have a system of email alerts for parents if somebody changes those filters.
But by the end of the year, why not force them to do it now?
Because you need to make the technical changes, but we have that commitment, and it may happen sooner if we can get the technical changes made sooner. So, we would like it to happen tomorrow. It will happen as soon as it possibly can in terms of the technical changes.